Hello students, in some of our previous classes we have discussed that if there are two such charged conductors, suppose A and B, and A had higher potential than B, then if you connect them with the help of a wire, then some current will flow from A to B, right? So you can understand from this topic that definitely there is some relation between the current I and the potential difference between the 2 points, right? But what is the relation exactly? That is still unknown to us, right? But today we are going to learn about it. So Ohm's law is the law from which we can understand that what relation does really exist between this potential difference and the current flowing between these two things through the conductor. So first, in the year 1928, a German physicist, George Simon Ohm, he first put forward the relation between the electric current and the potential difference, which is known as Ohm's law. Okay, so according to this law, suppose there is a conducting wire. Okay, this is an infinitely long conducting wire, and we are considering only 2 points A and B, and in between these 2 points there is some resistance. Already you know that to represent the resistance we use these zigzag lines, right? So there are 2 points A and B, and in between these 2 points there is a resistance, and the potential of the point A is VA, the potential of the point B is VB. So therefore the potential difference between them will be VA minus VB, and say the current is flowing through this resistance in a particular direction from A to B. In that case, according to Ohm, VA minus VB should directly vary with I when the other physical conditions and temperature, etc., are remaining invariant, that is they are not changing, because you know that with the increase of in temperature the electrons get so disturbed that they do not tend to flow in a certain direction, therefore the current reduces. And physical conditions means like the length of the wire and the thickness of the wire. If the wire is thicker, in that case the current will get more space to flow, therefore the resistance will drop and more current will flow. So those are the exceptional cases. But if these conditions are not changing, in that case the potential difference between these 2 points will determine that how much current will flow. If the potential difference is quite high, the amount of the current that is flowing should also be more. Okay, so this is the statement of Ohm's law. So you can see from here we can say that the current exactly varies as the difference between the 2 points, the potential difference between the 2 points. So if we write this VA minus VB as capital V, and as it is written in some books, we can write this small I as capital I. In that case, V will vary as capital I, and therefore to replace this one by a equal sign, we have to write a variation constant, which is say R. Okay, now what is this R thing? This R is nothing but the resistance of the circuit, the conducting wire. Now what is the reason behind this resistance of the conducting wire? You can see that, say this is a conducting wire in which the electrons are moving here and there in many directions. We have already discussed that usually in a conducting wire the electrons are haphazardly directed, their motions cannot be predicted from before. Okay, but if you connect a battery across it, then the electrons get a certain direction, and almost all the electrons will start flowing in this direction. They will start drifting in a certain direction, right? But when they are moving, they can collide with each other and lose some kinetic energy, due to which the current will reduce and resistance will increase. And there are plenty of other reasons also due to which the resistance occurs. So from Ohm's law we get the relation V is equal to IR, in which V is the potential difference between the 2 points, I is the current flowing through the points from one point to the other, and R is the resistance of the circuit. This thing you can remember, although this mathematical form is very easy, but still for understanding, for remembering purposes, you can use this mnemonic, in which you can see that V comes first. You have to look in this anti-clockwise sense. So VIR, write them VIR, then in between V and I first give the equal sign, and that's all. Okay, so this is how you can remember this also. Now from here we can define R, that is the resistance. Okay, say the potential difference between the 2 points is 1 volt and the current that is flowing is 1 ampere, then therefore the resistance will be 1 ohm. This is called ohm, OHM. Okay, in the honor of George Simon Ohm, the resistance of this the unit of this resistance has been given ohm name, and this is written as the capital omega symbol. Okay, so 1 ohm resistance is defined as the resistance offered by the conducting wire when 1 ampere current flows due to the 1 volt potential difference. Okay, so that is all about Ohm's law, but there are some limitations also. Limitations are this physical condition and temperature. If these things are not remaining constant, in that case the Ohm's law will become invalid. And there are certain other materials also, like some semiconductor materials, those do not follow this property, this V is equal to IR property. In their cases, V is normally non-linearly dependent on I, and they are called non-ohmic resistors, non-ohmic conductors. Okay, so if you plot this V versus I in a graph, the graph should look like this. Along the x-axis we are plotting the potential difference, along the y-axis we are plotting the current. So since this denotes a straight line, so the current should be, therefore the graph should look like this, a straight linear graph which should pass to the origin. Okay, and if you find out the slope between these 2 points, suppose you drop the perpendicular from this point, consider any point A over here, from this A point drop a perpendicular over here, so the length over here, this denotes the delta V, and this one the change in current, so their ratios will give you the resistance of the particular material. So that's all for this. Please go through the topic from your book also and try to learn some examples for ohmic conductors and non-ohmic conductors. So thank you, take care.